Hello, good afternoon and good evening to one and all present here. Welcome to technical session 5D. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology through Zoom. We are very thankful to everyone present on this platform to go along with us for the conference in these unpredictable times and making this conference more productive. Also, there is a note for the presenters. You will be given 10 to 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 to 4 minutes for the question and answers. On 10 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. Also, there's a request that all the participants are on mute when the presentation is going on. Now, I would like to introduce our session chair, Dr. Om Prakash. Presently working as Director IT University of Kota and Associate Professor in Department of Computer Science and Informatics, University of Kota. Presently, research interest of Dr. Rishi is intelligent systems, case-based reasoning, AI applications, cloud computing, and e-governance. He has published 40 research papers in international referred journals and 30 research papers in international conference proceedings and received 2 Best Paper Awards. Thank you for your presence, sir. So as of now, we'll start with the first presentation. Kazuma, are you going to present the presentation? Kazuma? Kazuma Nishimura. Kazuma? Okay, so it's not Kazuma. Anastasia? Anastasia, are you here?
Yes.
So
Hello.
can you present your paper? Are you ready?
Oh, okay. Wait a second. I will turn my
I
camera.
can't speak. I can't hear any sound. Sorry. Just a minute, please.
Okay, so Kazuma, are you ready now? See, I'll get back to you once the presentation is done. You solve your problem and then come back. Anastasia, presenting till then.
So, excuse me, I'm confused.
Oh, okay.
We'll wait. Anastasia, you
I
can
can hear.
present.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I'm
will be
here, but I
present.
can wait. It's okay.
oh sorry.
No, but he's having an issue, so you can start and then after he will do it. No problem. So you will be
Okay.
presenting your paper on image and text in ambiguous advertising posters, yeah?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can start sharing your screen.
Okay. Wait.
Yes, I can see your screen and
Do
you
you
can
see
start.
full
Please
screen?
take care. Yes, I can see your screen, so you can start, yeah? Please take care of the time as well. Thank you. You can start.
So, hello everyone. My name is Anastasia Konovalova. I'm from St. Petersburg State University, Russia. And today I would like to present the results of our research about lexical ambiguity in multimodal advertising posters and how it affects the perception of image and text of the poster. So, advertising poster is a multimodal text, which means that it consists of verbal and non-verbal parts. And using lexical ambiguity is a popular technique in advertisement creation. Here we use ambiguity in a very broad sense, which means that it includes polysemy, homonymy, and contextual ambiguity. And we decided to check out how ambiguity contained in the advertising headline affects the processing of advertising. There is also some contradictory data on how multimodal texts are perceived and processed. So we decided to compare how people memorize image and text in advertisement. The purpose of our study was to answer this research question. The first is which posters, ambiguous or unambiguous, are evaluated higher by the viewers, and are ambiguous posters recognized better than an advertisement without ambiguity, and what part of a multimodal poster is recognized better. So we took 28 advertising posters as stimuli, 13 of them were ambiguous, and 13 unambiguous. Here on the slide you can see examples of both types of posters. Like let's start from the ambiguous one, the one with the dog. So this poster has an ambiguous slogan, which is in Russian it literally means like get 5, держи 5, and it has two meanings. The first is idiomatic meaning, which means high five, and this meaning is supported by the dog like raising her paw as if it is giving the viewer a high five. And the second meaning of the headline is literal, which means like get 5 of something, and this meaning is supported by the second part of text, which is like plus 5 gigabytes of internet for free every month. So the ambiguity is supported, two meanings of the headline is supported by text and by picture in the poster. And the second poster with a lady, it is also the poster of. I didn't say that both of these advertisings are the advertisements of internet plan for the tablet. So the poster with a lady is unambiguous, and its headline says something like, enjoy yourself for 36 gigabytes longer, which means like you can have more internet on your tablet. And there were 14 pairs of such posters. They were all edited in a photo editor so that they had the same size, the same picture and text location, the same font, the same background color. And we conducted 2 experiments. The first one was a rating experiment where participants were asked to evaluate 28 advertising posters on how attracting attention, original, effective, understandable, evoking positive emotions, and matching with the product they advertise, the posters are on a scale from 1 to 5. So we had 6 parameters and we had 104 participants. And the results, you can see the results on the slide. We counted the medium ratings for ambiguous and unambiguous posters, which are AP and UP on the table. And then we checked, we compared these ratings using students' t-test, and significant p-value are highlighted in blue on the table. So the results show that ambiguous posters are rated significantly more attracting attention, original, effective, and positive, which means evoking positive emotions. So 4 out of 6 scales, this 4 of 6 parameters, the ambiguous posters are rated higher. And the second experiment was conducted after 3 weeks, after the first one. So the same participants who took part in the first experiment were asked to answer whether they had seen such poster in the first experiment or if they hadn't seen it. And 71 subjects took part in this experiment. For the second experiment, the material was changed a little bit. So every poster was cut into halves. The one half contained the image and the other half contained the text. So as you can see on the slide, there is another example of ambiguous poster, which the headline says, like, which card is more important? And the ambiguity here is in the word card, because on the picture you can see a wallet, and there are some credit cards in there, and there is a photograph, which in Russian photograph it can be called also a photo card. So like the ambiguity arises here. And so all posters were cut in halves, and these halves were demonstrated to the participants, and more fillers were added. And the results show that ambiguous posters are recognized significantly better than unambiguous ones, and that verbal parts of the ambiguous posters are also recognized better, but there is no significance in how people remember verbal and non-verbal parts of unambiguous posters. So we conclude that ambiguity in poster affects its recognition and therefore memorization very, very strongly. And so, yes, as I said, and ambiguous posters are rated higher, and also they are remembered significantly better, and we suppose that this ambiguity contained in the headline, it makes information processing more resource intensive, and so it leads to the better recognition of the posters. And this is interesting because usually, like, advertisings are it's picture that attracts attention when we look at the advertisings. So mostly that's all, but I want also say something that maybe you know about the situation between Russia and Ukraine, and I would like to say that I'm very sorry for the people of Ukraine, and that many people in Russia do not support the actions of our president, so we are very sorry. And thank you for the attention.
You have done a very remarkable work, and I want to ask few questions related to this paper. First question: what are the different parameters you have taken for advertising ambiguity? Means what are the parameters that differentiate this?
What are the parameters of, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, I think the connection is not very good, and like I can hear you very well. Like, could you please repeat your question?
What are the different parameters on base you have categorized? These advertisements are ambiguous, these are unambiguous. What are the parameters you have taken in your research paper?
Yeah. So the headline must contain a word or like a phrase which, according to the dictionary, has more than one meaning. And it also
this is only for textual content. This is for like, textual content.
The source, like, yes, the source is a textual context, because like the words are its headline, but after that it's not only one thing, because also we checked if there are other things in the poster which like support these various meanings. For example, like this picture, like this dog, which is supporting one meaning, and the text which is supporting like the literal meaning of the phrase.
Okay. And in the case of if any image is having in content, then what happen? In case of image, how you can say that this is ambiguous or this is unambiguous?
Like the image itself, it's not ambiguous or unambiguous. It just supports some meanings.
Okay. But within your paper, you have taken two different things, and within that you have just tried to explain this is attractive, this is original, this is effective, this is understable based on the advertisement, and after that the content. So how you distinguish these?
Like we just asked.
Taken.
So like we asked people, like, do this advertising poster seems like understandable to you? And people like answered like yes, on the scale from 1 to 5. This poster seems understandable for me, like on 5. And that's all. That's how we trusted the participants, like how they understood. We tried to give clear to describe what do we mean by saying like this picture attracts attention. We try to be very precise in our in defining this parameter, but it's like the participants, we couldn't check if they understood us correctly, but we tried to describe it like as precise as possible.
Okay. Thank you, Anastasia. Now over to Deepika.
Thank you so much. So we'll move on with the next presenter, Kazuma. Are you ready now?
Yes, just a minute.
We'll be presenting the paper on the development of the postcard automatic generating system that records travel memories, right? Okay, thank you. You can start sharing your screen. Yes, I can see your screen. You can start.
Thank you. Thank you for introduction. My name is Kazuma Nishimura from Graduate School of Engineering, Kagawa University. I will talk about the development of the postcard automatic generating printing system that records travel memories called Karabenil. This is the table of contents of this present. Tourist information is classified into 3 types, called pre-information, spot information, and post information. Pre-information provides some motivation for someone to go on a trip. For example, pre-information is facilities information, means of transportation, and so on. This information is provided using brochures, guidebooks, websites, blogs, and SNS. Tourists who are taken to a trip by pre-information get spot information at tourist spots. Spot information is tourist information and tour guide. This information is provided using a wide variety of media. Tourists who got spot information record travel memories as post information. Post information is memory of the trip, and this information is saved as photo albums, websites, and blogs. These need to be provided appropriately according to the stage and from and form of tourism. The tourist information mentioned above is closely related to each other. This figure shows life cycle of tourist information. A tourist who decides to go sightseeing with attractive pre-information gets post-information at the destination. After completing the tour with spot information, tourists return home and record their memories of the trip as a post-information. Post-information becomes pre-information that attracts other tourists to visit by being transmitted and shared with other tourists. It is important to encourage the flow of tourism information through the life cycle of tourist information. Shodoshima is a famous sightseeing spot in Japan. I will briefly explain Shodoshima. Shodoshima is island which is located in the Seto Naikai in Japan. The area is 153 square kilometers and the second largest island in the Seto Naikai. Population are about 29,000 people. There are various famous foods and sightseeing spots. Famous foods are somen, olive, soy sauce, and so on. Famous sightseeing spots are Angel Roads, Olive Park, and so on. An olive card post box has been installed in Shodoshima Olive Park. Tourists can purchase postcards at the park, write messages on the postcards, and send them to their friends through this post box. Such an approach is not only to use postcards as their own post information, but also to use it as a trigger for someone to go on a trip that is as pre-information. Such an approach is being taken by many tourist spots. In Shodoshima, the island is holding photo contests and other efforts to encourage tourists to take photos at tourist spots on that island and post them on SNS. Shodoshima Olive Park is one of the filming locations for the movie Kiki's Delivery Service, and the beach broom is available for rent. Many tourists take photos of themselves jumping on the broom around the big windmill in the park. When these photos are posted on social networking sites, other tourists who see the photos will visit Shodoshima Olive Park to take similar photos. This type of tourism is called content tourism, where tourists try to take photos from a particular angle based on suggestion by a tourism operator or word of mouth from other tourists. Here is a summary. Postcards are purchased as memories of the trip. Postcards can be a trigger to go on a trip. There are certain angles that are often photographed in tourist spots. In this research, we developed the postcard automatic generating printing system that records travel memories called Carabinier. Carabinier is a system that generates and prints postcards using image recognition from photos taken by tourists in the same location and composition as postcards. In other words, the system for printing the postcard that records travel memories. A tourist takes postcards and goes sightseeing in the places shown on the postcards. In other words, postcards become pre-information for tourists. Postcards are generated printed from photos taken by tourists. In other words, the system generates post information for sightseeing. In addition, when the generated postcards are shared with other tourists, they become pre-information for other tourists, which motivated them to visit the sightseeing spot. This figure shows the outline of Caravenir. Caravenir consists of Caravenir application operates with a smartphone and a tablet. Caravenir server operates on the server, and postcard printing application operates printer connected to the network. Caravenir presents several postcards to tourists. Tourists go sightseeing while looking for the place of a postcard. If they find the same place as the postcard, take a photo of themselves with the same composition as a postcard. Then upload it to the system. If the system determines that this photo was taken at the same location and composition as a postcard, it generates a postcard with the same composition as the postcard and including themselves. The system generates two types of postcards: a JPEG version to be sent via SMS and PDF version for printing. Caravenir uses custom vision for image recognition technology. Custom vision is an image recognition service provided by Microsoft Corporation. Custom vision creates a learning model by uploading images of places and objects to be identified along with labels to the service. Therefore, you can create your favorite learning model creatively easily, such as scenery at the time of recognition. The matching rate between the given label and the image is returned. This figure shows using image of Caravenir. Tourists pick up a postcard at the station or port of the tourist spot. They have arrived and decide on a tourist spot to visit. The tourist searches for the same place as on the postcard. When tourists find the same place as on the postcard, they take a picture of it with the same composition and include themselves in the picture, and upload the picture to the Caravenir server. The sent photo is judged by image recognition technology to be the same place as the photo on the postcard. If it is
Sorry for the
determined,
interruption. Dear presenter, you just have 2 minutes left. So please conclude. Yeah?
okay, if it determines that it is the same places as the postcard, a postcard of that spot will be generated. The postcards will not only be a memory of the post trip for oneself, but also a trigger for others to go on a trip by being shared with other tourists. This figure shows the postcard that the tourist received before sightseeing. The tourist decided which sightseeing spot they want to visit from among several postcards, like this one, and go sightseeing. And here is a postcard generated in Caravenir. The generated postcard includes a photo taken by the tourist, the date and time the photo was taken, the weather, a comment, and the carabiner logo. By generating a postcard with the same location and composition as the postcard, and with yourself in the photo, you can reflect on your trip memories trip more deeply. I will demonstrate the system. This is the top screen. Tap the Start button to start using the application. Tap the camera symbol in the center of the screen to start the camera and take a photo, or choose to upload a saved photo. In this demo, we will select a saved photo. When the photo is uploaded, the image processing starts, and if it's judged to be a same location and composition as the postcard, the OK screen is displayed. On this screen, you can see the postcard generated from that photo. By tapping on the postcard, you can enter your memories of the photo as a comment on the postcard. When you are done, the postcard will be filled with your travel memories as a comment. Tap the camera symbol at the bottom right to return to the shooting screen. Tap the side of the camera, and you will see a button to end the trip on the back side. When you have finished sightseeing, the PIN code will be displayed. By entering the PIN code into the printer, you will be able to print a postcard that records travel memories. I will summarize my presentation. I talked about the postcard automatic generating printing system that records travel memories called carabiner. Shodoshima has been recognized as a stone island by Japan Heritage. As future works, we are planning to conduct a social experiment of ICT for tourism to generate postcards of famous places related to stones. I'm not good at English, so I'm not sure if I can answer your questions correctly. Please use this form. I will send you the answer later. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Kazuma. Thank you for your presentation.
I just put you are.
Thank you. So you can stop sharing your screen. The participants can drop their questions in the chat forum. So we will move on with the next presentation. We have Indra Mahardika. Are you here? Indra Mahardika. Indra.
Okay.
Yes, Indra Mahardika, you're here, right? So you are presenting a paper on analysis of the effect of mobility model and traffic agent variations on routing protocol performance on mobile ad hoc network. Yeah, right? So you can start your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you to the moderator for the opportunity for me to able to present my journal. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Indra Mardika. I am from Indonesia. I study in Kalimantan Institute of Technology. Today, I will present my journal about analysis of the effect of mobility models and traffic agent variation on routing protocol performance on mobile ad hoc network. The table of content that I use in this presentation include preliminary content background, problem formulation and objective, parameter, determining system, parameter, and determining simulation variation. System design, perform managed network design in accordance with the parameters. And number 4, data analysis, comparing data that has been taken through the simulation. Number 5, closing is conclusion. The first is the preliminary, contains background, problem formulation, and objective. The background, evolution of communication technology in Indonesia. The development of communication technology in Indonesia is growing rapidly every year. Because consumption and user demand for internet networks are getting higher every day in Indonesia. Therefore, communication technology can continue to develop together. And number 2 is MANET. MANET is mobile ad hoc network. This is a type of ad hoc network where user can connect to each other without requiring an adequate network infrastructure. MANET can be used as an emergency network if a disaster occurs, or network in area with lack of infrastructure technology. MANET characteristic, the MANET network uses radio frequency 30 MHz until 5 GHz. User role as a router. The user is not only able to receive and send data, but can forward data. User can move freely. This is a mobile ad hoc network. The next is formulation of the problem. Formulation of the problem. The first is how variation in mobility models affect quality of service routing protocol. And then how does traffic eigenvariation affect quality of service routing protocol? And the last, how to determine the right routing protocol for each simulation scenario. The next part is objective. Determine the effect of variation in mobility models on quality of service routing protocol. And then determine the effect of traffic agent variations on quality of service protocol routing. The last is determine the right routing protocol for each simulation scenario. Parameters. Determining system parameters and determining simulation variation in MANET. In this project, I used 3 variables of parameters. The first is routing protocol, second is mobility models, and the last is traffic gain. Routing protocol is useful for user can determine the path or route they want to go to send information or data. Routing protocols are divided into 3 types, namely reactive, proactive, and hybrid. Mobility models. Mobility models is a description of the movement pattern of device or user in a network that changes in position and speed. Mobility models are divided into 2, namely homogeneous, heterogeneous, and mobility models. The last is traffic gain. Traffic gain is a component that acts as a data traffic controller and allows communication between user and how the data is sent. The next chapter is system design. Perform MANET network design in accordance with predetermined parameters. System parameter that I use in this project is mobility models, random waypoint, and Manhattan grid. Random waypoint represent rural area, and Manhattan grid represent urban area. Traffic agent type is FTP-TCP and CBR-UDP. Network size 1000 meter. Routing protocol ODV, DSDV, and DSR. Number of nodes 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100 nodes. Simulation time 1000 seconds. Propagation model to right ground, speed of mobile nodes 0.1 until 2 meter per second. Initial energy 100 joule, idle power 0.8 watt, RX power 1 watt, TX power 1.3 watt, sleep power 0.003 watt, packet size 512 bytes. Of vary the traffic again with the random waypoint mobility models on various nodes to get the throughput value. In the first paragraph, in the first graph, the traffic again TCP/FTP. The graph show that the value of the DSR routing protocol is better in the experiment of 20, 60, and 100 nodes compared to UDP and DSDP routing protocol. In the second graph, with variation in traffic against UDP CBR, the graph shows the throughput value of the UDP routing protocol is better on all experiment nodes compared to others. The second experiment is to vary the traffic again with the Manhattan mobility models on various nodes to get the throughput value. In the first paragraph, the first graph, the traffic again TCP/FTP, the graph shows that the value of the DSL routing protocol has a better value on its node experiment compared to ODP and DSDP. In the second graph, with the variation in traffic again UDP-CBR, the graph shows that the throughput value of the ODP routing protocol is better on our experiment nodes and compared to the others. The third experiment is to vary the traffic again with the random waypoint mobility model on various nodes to get the packet delivery ratio. In the first graph, the traffic again TCP/FTP, the graph shows that the value of the routing protocol has a better value on its node experiment compared to ODP and DSDP. In the second graph, with the variation in the traffic again UDP-CBR, the graph shows that the throughput value of the ODP routing protocol is better on all experiment nodes compared to the others. The fourth experiment is vary the traffic again with the Manhattan mobility model on various nodes to get the packet delivery ratio. In the first graph, the traffic again TCP/FTP, the graph shows that the value of the DSL routing protocol has a better value on each node experiment compared to ODP and DSDP. In the second graph, with variation in the traffic again, UDP-CBR, the graph shows that the throughput value of the ODP routing protocol is better on all experiment nodes compared to other routing protocol. And the fifth experiment is to vary the traffic again with the random waypoint mobility models on varied nodes to get the residual energy value. In the first graph, traffic again TCP/FTP, the graph shows that the value of the DSL routing protocol has a better value on its node experiment except for the active nodes experiment compared to ODP and DSDP. In the second graph, with variation in traffic again UDP-CBR, the graph shows that the throughput value of the DSL routing protocol is better on all experiment nodes compared to the others. The sixth experiment to vary the traffic again with the Manhattan mobility model on various nodes to get to residual energy value. In this first graph, the traffic again TCP/FTP, the graph shows that the value of the DSL routing protocol has a better value on each node experiment, except for the active nodes experiment compared to ODP and DSDP. In the second graph, with the variation in the traffic again UDP-CBR, the graph shows that the throughput value of DSL routing protocol is better on all experiment nodes compared to the others. Next chapter is the closing, contain conclusion and suggestion on this final project research. The final project research that has been carried out has resulted in the following conclusion. Number one, the DSL routing protocol has better throughput, performance, and packet delivery ratio in every variation of mobility models that use TCP/FTP traffic again. The highest throughput value is 6,138 kbps in the variation of 20 nodes at a random waypoint, and the highest packet delivery ratio is 99.91% at the variation of 100 nodes of the Manhattan grid. Number two, the ODP routing protocol has better throughput performance and packet delivery ratio in every variation of mobility models that use UDP-CBR traffic again. The highest throughput value is at 85.04 kbps in the 100 node Manhattan grid variation, and the highest packet delivery ratio is 99.93% at the 100 node Manhattan grid variation. And the last is the DSL protocol has higher residual energy value than the ODP and DSDP protocol. The highest residual energy value is in the variation of 100 nodes random waypoint TCP/FTP with a value of 24,798.73 rejoule. Okay, thank you for all attention. Any question?
Thank you so much. Any questions, sir?
You have mentioned that you have taken 3 parameters, that is the routing protocols, and you have selected only 4 protocols like TCP, FTP, UDP, and CBR. But in the conclusion, you have using a DSR. Okay. Are you getting my point? For the comparison purpose, for you have taken TCP, FTP, as well as UDP, CBR. You haven't mentioned about DSR protocols. But
Okay.
in the conclusion, you have taken DSR protocol as well as AODV protocol. So what is the difference, or what is the discrimination in the research results? Why this result discrimination?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Basically, within your research, you have taken 3 parameters. Okay.
Okay.
What is that? Routing protocol, mobility models, and traffic agents.
Yes.
Within protocols, you have compared 2 sets, that is TCP, TCP and FTP, as well as UDP and CBR. But in the conclusion, you have mentioned about DSR and AODV. You haven't mentioned the with the TCP or FTP. Comparisons with TCP, FTP, you haven't mentioned. Why?
Okay. Can I? Okay, in the experiment I use system parameter, mobility models, random waypoint, Manhattan grid. For traffic again type and data type, or traffic again is FTP, TCP, dan CBR, UDP. And the routing protocol ODV, DSDV, and DSR. In the experiment.
Okay. Thank you, Indra. Yeah. We
Thank
move for
you.
the next paper.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have our next presenter, Mike Peralta, who would be presenting a paper on Freddy Render, a horizontally scaled Blender-based solution for 3D graphics rendering. Yeah, are you here, Mike? Yes. Little louder, please.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, better. You can start sharing your screen.
Okay. Desktop number 1. Can you see my slideshow?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'll have to skim through this because I tend to go way too long, and this was more of like a full presentation. So please feel free to tell me that I need to start hurrying. So basically, my project is called Freddy Render, and what is it basically? There's a piece of software called Blender, which I'll talk about more in a second, that requires a lot of CPU time spent on 3D rendering. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make some software that made it a little bit easier for Blender artists to horizontally scale their Blender rendering animations. That was basically my mission statement. So Blender is some software that is open source, and it lets artists make 3D motion graphics, animations, and a lot of other things. I focused on animations for Freddy Render. You can see here are like 3 movies that that they randomly made. Well, I mean, they're really good movies. So the basic process when you're rendering animations with Freddy Render is, with Blender in general, is you render 1 frame at a time. You can see here there's 1 frame rendering of an animation. So there would be very many frames that have to get rendered for a single animation in order to compile them later into a movie. So the problem that I was trying to address is basically a bottleneck where frames take a long time. I'm sure you've heard, stories of Disney studios and other, 3D animation studios having huge render farms where they spend lots and lots of times rendering frames. So just as a quick example, I found a 10-minute short film where it took 133 minutes to render a single frame on a certain processor that was considered powerful at the time. It would have taken 4 years on the one processor to render without horizontal scaling. So the marketplace actually does have some solutions. I just wanted to make one that matched more of the criteria that I was hoping for when I was a user. Vertical scaling as a solution is out because that's widely considered not a good solution for scale. It's very expensive and it has a hard limit, even with an incredibly powerful computer. Per these measurements, you could spend a year rendering a very short film. Horizontal scaling is a lot better. The basic idea of horizontal scaling, just quickly review, is that if you have a frame that takes t time to render and you have n nodes that are going to render it, and all the frames on average are about the same, then the time that your farm would take to render your animation would be t over n. So it dramatically reduces the time to render your animation. So in the current landscape, there are some solutions, but a lot of them are paid or not open source, or they have bugs, or they don't have the compatibility that I was looking for, or they're insecure or just counterintuitive. So I was just hoping Freddy Render would be one more free option. My intention is to make Freddy Render open source. As soon as I clean up the code a little bit more, I'm a little code shy. I wanted to give it a robust feature set. I wanted it to have an elegant, intuitive GUI. I wrote the GUI in Ember.js. I separated the front end from the back end, so the back end is running just API endpoints, and I wanted it to be simple to install and easy to use. So the whole project is written in Java, as pure Java, basically. There's only one library that I even have to link, and the user can just download a jar file, and with one command line, they can launch all modes of Freddy Render. So how does Freddy Render essentially help? I'm going to skip down here a little bit more just to kind of show you what happens. We run Freddy Render in 3 different modes to help render, to help horizontally scale your render farm. You launch a mode of Freddy Client when you want to upload a new Blender project to Freddy Render for rendering. An instance of Freddy Master is running continuously to coordinate all the activities of the render farm. The user uses the web browser to contact the Freddy Master instance in order to pause and resume jobs and change priorities and just manage everything in general. And then the master instance communicates with one or more slave instances, which just do the work of rendering the frame. So the master instance coordinates all of the rendering, and each slave machine renders one frame at a time, and it asks the master for instructions, and it just sort of continues rendering. Here's a different sort of a view from the user's perspective of how the system sort of communicates with itself. We have the client instance that talks to the backend API of the master instance. We have the user using the web browser, which communicates with the backend API as well. The web browser also receives the front end API from the master instance. And then the master instance delivers instructions and receives work from all of the slave instances. And all of this is just happening in the single Java jar file. I wrote the client instance in Java Swing. You can see here I have an instance running of the client instance. I can do an upload if you want me to, if there's time. I have an instance of the master running in the other room. So the results were basically that it worked, and it worked pretty well. I think if there's any leftover time, I'm not sure how much time I've taken. I can kind of show you around the web GUI a little bit. It does have a lot of limitations at the moment that I wanted to improve in the future. For instance, it doesn't actually use SSL. I have to use Apache right now to give it SSL capability, but I would like it to have its own SSL capability in the future, at least self-signed certificates. It also doesn't have authentication or brute force protection, so it's not safe to run on untrusted networks or just malicious scripts that might be embedded into Blender projects. There's no mobile app yet, but I'm hoping that because I have a backend API dedicated, it might not be too hard for me to make maybe a React, or some sort of like another API front end for a cell phone. I don't have database persistence yet. Right now, when Freddy Render starts, it'll just scan the hard drive or the storage in order to figure out what the state is of its projects. But you can reboot the master and survive the progress that you've made so far. And I have not implemented automated testing at all. I have not implemented telemetry at all. And then I just have a bunch of video walkthroughs here. If you want to see any of them, I can play them. But here's the web interface for Freddy Render. Basically, you just Can someone just tell me quickly if I have enough time? Am I okay? I tried to go very, very fast. Let me get the chat room. Am I okay? Okay, just tell me if I need to stop. So long story short, when you want to submit a render job to Freddy Render, you basically just open an instance of the client, and then here's a picture of my dog. That's Freddy. He's sitting right here. He's bored. And so you click on a button, and then you find your Blender project. This will support animations, and it is a little bit better than some other solutions I've found in respect to you do not need to pack the blend file. You can actually just have a blend file that does not have all external dependencies packed into the blend file. They can be separate. Freddy Render will find them and upload them all. So I'm clicking on it, and the client is just going to upload in chunks, so the project can be as big as you want. There won't be a crash. There were some other softwares that I was using that that crashed if the file was too big. Also, Freddy Render used to crash before I added this feature, where it split the transfers up into chunks. It's just transferring over HTTP to the backend API at this point. This progress meter lets you know how much progress there is. If we look at the web GUI, you can see that this is the project that's currently transferring into the master instance from the client. I'm sending a project called Turntable. So it's just kind of going, and it's letting me know that it's still initializing, it's still transferring in the background. Before the presentation started, I uploaded another project called Spooky Suzanne, and it's just, the Suzanne monkey head that is sort of like an icon within the Blender community. Everybody always starts by messing around with the monkey head and putting it in different lighting situations. So I uploaded this animation right before the presentation started, and you can see that my farm is has already got 492 frames rendered so far. Right now, my farm only actually has one machine doing the rendering, but I've tested this with like 6 slave machines. I'm hoping maybe in the future I can get my hands on more machines to test them. But for now, it's just me. Like I just run a bunch of laptops, a computer in the garage and whatever. Anything that can.
Good job.
What's that?
Good job. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deepika, please.
Thank you.
continue.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. So we have our next presenter. Michael Kabalinas, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, you are presenting a paper on analysis of the impact of ICT for control diagnosis and follow-up of dengue cases, a review of the scientific literature. Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
you can share your screen.
Can you see?
Yes, I can.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michel Cabanillas Carbonell. I'm present the paper entails analysis of the impacts for ICT for the control diagnosis and follow-up of dengue case, a review of the scientific literature, outline, introduction, methodology, results, discussions, and conclusions. Introductions. According to the WHO, dengue is a viral infection transmitted by the bite of infected females of mosquitoes of the genus Aedes. There are 4 serotypes of dengue virus: DIN 1, DIN 2, DIN 3, and DIN 4. Dengue occurs in tropical and subtropical climates around the globe, especially in urban and semi-urban areas. Symptoms appear 3 and 14 days, average 4 and 7 days after the infect's bite. Dengue is a flu-like disease that affects infants, young children, and adults. Symptoms include an elevated fever, 14 Celsius temperatures, accompanied by 2 of the following symptoms: very severe stage pain behind the ears, muscle and joint pains, nauseous, vomiting, and large lines, nodes, and rage. Dengue medical care comes to make challenges in the circulations of COVID-19 and impose challenges for the treatment of dengue case that requires immediate attentions. Methodology in this paper, the research questions is research question 1, what is the impacts for ICT for the control, diagnosis, and follow-up of dengue case? And question 2, what are best ICT for the control, diagnosis, and follow-up of dengue case? Question 3, what are the types of ICT tools for the control, diagnosis, and follow-up of dengue case? 4, what are the advantages and disadvantages for ICT tools for the control, diagnosis, and follow-up of dengue case? In the feature 1, flowchart of exclusion and inclusion of documents, database is ESCO-host, IEEE, Science Scopus, Publications, others. Total 53 paper relevance. The criteria inclusion and exclusions. Inclusions, the years of publication from 2016 and 2021. Article were found in English. Article in order to answer research questions. And exclusion in non-exclusions. And results, the feature 2, number of articles published by country. Database is ESCO-host, IEEE Explorer, IU Publications, Science Scopus. The feature 3, ICT articles published by area. Category, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, information and communications, Internet of Things, mobile application, multi-platforms application, web and mobile application, web applications. You can see year 2020 or more articles. The feature 4, the most implement ICT in terms of control, diagnosis, and monitoring dengue. Category, artificial intelligence, mobile application, web application, information and communication. You can see in the feature 4, artificial intelligence is more articles. Classifications by article classifications, category, artificial intelligence, articles, 32 articles, web application, 14, mobile application, informations and communication technologies, 3, web application and mobile, 2, Internet of Things, cross platforms, augmented reality. Advanced and disadvantage for ICT, artificial intelligence, super low cost Windows, every month easy to learn and useful functionality integrates I/O capacity. Disadvantage, security less levels, web application, MCM geolocation capacity, relevance on mosquito population monitoring. Disadvantage, information insecurity, that's no jobs prevention informations. Mobile application, identify the media that might the nest of ICICT. Disadvantage is don't know show place which rates contains on dengue. Category information and communication technologies, advanced promotions and prevention of dengue others, contact for and reports and criaderos and patients. Disadvantage do not allows communication for medical cares. It do not allow for view the points of contagion in the user area residence. Web application mobile advanced in and disadvantaged in these images. Internet at things también it's advanced and disadvantaged cross-platform applications and table 3. Discussions. Question 1. According to the information with collection from the articles and how it's observing the feature 3, we can visualize the most used ICT articles to improve the control, diagnosis, and monitoring of dengue case. In addition, the tools were classified through article publishing on the focus for the analysis of the impacts on ICT for the control. Request question 2. According to the information web collection from the article and hope to observe in the future for web collection for article that, that has been had for this research animates at analysis for the impacts ICT for the control diagnosis and monitoring. We observed that artificial intelligence is the most implemented tool ICT. Likewise, as shown in table 3, artificial intelligence category, we found the Leview software what was programmed to perform the reverse transcription retention tips based on the fluorescence response on the molecular beacons during heatings. Question 3, according to the information we collection from the articles and see in table 2, the types of ICT tools for the control diagnosis and monitoring of dengue case uses are for your with web application, mobile application, augmented reality, internet and things, multi-platform application, web and mobile applications, artificial intelligence, and information and communication technology. The request question 4, based on the information we collection from the articles and see in table 3, the advanced and disadvantaged were classification according to the age category, and the most important articles in age category was specific with a brief description of height. Conclusion, the research addressed relevant issues in terms of communication information technology, such as the classification of tool most used in years. In addition, in this research was achieved through statistical data to publishing the most implemented tools in recent years to the present. Thanks to this research was possible to obtain knowledge and contribution focused on the process on analysis the impact of ICT for the control diagnosis and monitoring on dengue case in the world through the use of technology tools that today are in constant innovation. Today, there are information tools to be able to combat dengue, as it helps us to be able to analyze critical case, and this technology are already used in various parts of the world. Thank you.
So this is your review of scientific literature. How many papers you have reviewed? Are you getting my point, Michelle? How many papers you have considered for review?
Yes, total 63 paper relevance, and this database escogió IEEE, Insider, Scopus, publishing others.
63. So total 63, you had gone through with the 63 papers.
The country, América del Norte, América del Sur, Brazil, United States.
Just please listen. After reviewing these 63 papers, which technology is appropriately relevant to diagnose dengue?
Yes, according to the information.
Which technology? IoT, AI, or which technology? Within ICT, there are so many areas. Which technology is much more appropriate?
Mobile application, artificial intelligence, web application, information communication. The more
I got it. Please listen. I got it. Out of these technology, which one is more relevant or appropriate for dengue diagnosis? Have you gone through?
It's recommended to emphasize and prioritize more research focused on virtual reality, since the results Sophie tools with the type of information and communication technology science is
Thank you, Michelle. I got it, your answer. Thank you. Deepika, please continue.
Yes, thank you so much, Michelle. We have our next present again, Phil, who is just a paper on business business decision making in times of COVID-19, a systematic review of the literature. So Michelle, you can share your screen.
Can you see?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. The present entail business intelligence in strategies, business decisions making and times of COVID-19, a systematic review of the literature, outline, introduction, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusions. Introductions. The COVID-19 pandemic has notoriously affected small and large companies beyond the trigger for many of them to practice. For these reasons, it is necessary to combine the knowledge from different areas to have an
Michelle, can you
interdisciplinary.
discuss only results? Michelle, can you discuss only results? Results and conclusions. Kindly discuss.
Okay.
Forget about introduction.
Okay. The methodology, what research questions, every question what's business intelligence strategy has been used in COVID-19 times for decisions making in the business sectors. Question 2, what have been the benefits of business intelligence in times for COVID-19 for decision making in the business sectors? Research question 3, which country have developed the most research on the topic of business intelligence in strategy decision making and times of COVID-19? Research question 4, which technology other than business intelligence supports strategic business decisions making in times of COVID-19? Methodology, inclusion and exclusion stage, total 26 paper relevance, the database, ITP Explorer, Scopus, Springer, and Wiley. Criteria and inclusion and exclusion. Inclusion, article rely on business intelligence in times of COVID-19. Article rely to decision making in times of COVID-19. Article publishing in year 2020-21. And exclusion and not inclusions. The Prisma methodology records identifies through database searching 65 articles and record after duplicate removed, record excludes that did not meet the inclusion criteria. 13 articles exclusion did not address the research questions. Results, the featured 3 articles per database. The more articles and Springer line and Scopus. Article for country. Can you see in the feature 4? And in the results, the feature 5, number of strategies applies business intelligence per items. Number that often applies in business intelligence. The most articles is takes the clients into account and adapt to their preference. Number of articles per category technologies. Number of technologies most apply business intelligence for items. Artificial intelligence, the most articles. The feature 7, number of benefits on implementing business intelligence per item. In the next tables, can see the table 2, strategy according for the results of time, strategies, identification of cluster patterns, generate structured data, on joins initiatives to grow the business, key performance indicator, integrate database to a cloud platforms, taking to customer into account and adapting to this preference, technological tools, against by size modelings and simulates effects of measure taking, qualitative methods, performance analysis of various SNRs. The table 3, technology accord the results of stains, technology, big data, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, machine learning, text mining, deep learning. The table 4, benefits according to the results of stains, and discussions. What business intelligence, the question 1, strategy has been used in COVID-19 things for decision making in the business sectors. According to table 2 and feature 5, it can be observed that the article relates to the topic having strategies such as generating structured data, key indicator, qualitative methods, performance analysis of various SNRs, etc. These results indicate that these techniques are beyond uses of strategic business decisions making in terms of COVID-19. The request question 2, according to features 6, feature 7, and table 4, it can be seen that the article relies to our topic have benefits from trend indication, accelerations, the decision making process, reduce socioeconomic, industrial, and health impact, stock market predictions. The results indicates that these benefits results in strategic business decision making in COVID-19 times. Request question 3, according to feature 4, I can be see that there is much more research relies or topic common from countries such as Germany, with the highest amount followed by India and Italy. The results indication tasks that are more research for strategic business decisions making in times of COVID-19. The articles relies to our topic come from the continents of Europe and Asia. The question 4, according to feature 5 and table 3, I can be observed that article relates to the topic used big data, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, machine learning, text mining, and deep learning technology. The result indication that this technology support strategic business decision making in times COVID-19. And conclusion, the strategy tasks have been used for business intelligence in times for decision making in the business sector, identification of cluster and patterns, generation, structured data, continuation initiatives to grow the business, key performance indicators. Likewise, the benefits to get when application the strategy are trend identification, providing real-time data, accelerating the decision-making process, digitalizations, improving performance and managing efficiencies, stock market prediction, planning, monitoring, and evaluations. Thank you. I can see.
Yeah, your both research paper are based on content analysis. So you have performed this content analysis manually or automated content analysis techniques?
What's the benefits of the heads when applying these strategies are trend identification, provides real-time data, accelerations, and decisions-making process, digitalizations, improving performance and managing efficiency, stock marketing prediction, planning, monitoring, and evaluations. For the future work, it is recommended to investigate more about the topic, especially applications artificial intelligence in strategic business decision making in times COVID. Beyond technology, what both hands in hands with machine learning.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Deepika,
Thank you.
continue for next paper.
This is the last paper. Our presenter is Hiroki. He will be presenting on estimation of programming, understanding by time, series analysis of code puzzles. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see your screen yet.
Okay, let's start.
Your
My name
screen is not visible.
Oh, screen not visible. Okay.
Stop your screen and then try sharing it again.
Yeah, just a minute.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Now, my name is Hirokito. I'm grateful to be here, overcoming the language difference. Today's topic is estimation of programming understanding by time series analysis of code puzzles. First, I would like to share some background. In computational thinking, it is important to develop a perspective on problem solving. However, in the actual situation, the instructors are forced to monitor the learner's coding process to assess them. This is hard work. In many systems, a large number of learners are assessed at once. They use simple format like frame blank, written test, or only output of their source code. That is, such system ignores the solving process. This does not assess true programming ability, which consists of computational thinking. So we worked on the following. First, emphasis on computational thinking. Second, feedback based on the existence of perspective. Here the related researches. Nesbitt and Villamor mentioned the need to develop learning support that emphasizes logical aspects. And Jadid proposed process-oriented approaches series using compilation error resolution. This is the best site as a process-oriented approach, but this is not a statistically superior performance. So we thought as follows. A lot of comparing behavior may not always mean low understanding, and it is necessary to get the behavior with more granularity. Then we thought to need to use variable other than compilation behavior to predict learners' understanding. Therefore, we introduced code puzzles. This is an original tool that runs on the web, and it corrects various learning behavior. This is inspired by Parsons programming puzzles, and this is similar to visual programming, such Scratch. This is a suitable method for learning logical structures and collecting detailed log data. So learner drag and drop to make program structure. Now we propose a method based on the background. It is a method which model the logs of the code puzzle in state space model. Also visualize and quantify the understanding. This following figure is the overview. First, we collect data through code puzzles. Second, we train hidden Markov model by code puzzle log. In the hidden Markov model, it is important to choose observable state and what to find in the internal state. In this research, we already know that incompetent learners behave inconsistent operation. So we designed a model like that. Third, our system visualizes the points with no perspective, like this figure. This is from output of hidden Markov model. In this research, output explains learner's understanding for validation of hidden Markov model. Finally, we can provide adaptive feedback by outputs of the model and visualization. Next. Now let's explain the method with a detailed diagram. First, our web system collects various event logs. Then, the method extracts a series of direct code fragments. Next, these series have to be reduced in dimension because of its size, too big. So we divide the code fragment into each key points. Key points means that load of blocks or load of blocks. And in here, this method gives them the same level. This figure shows this series. Next, the method calculates the transition probability and non-diagonal L0 node for each moving window. Then the non-diagonal component means that the frequency of starting different key points. Finally, this node is the input to the hidden Markov model. When the norm is large, it means the learner touched various sub-goals. In other words, inconsistent or their string. By training the hidden Markov model with this norm, internal state is estimated. We expect this internal state to be the learner's perspective. So you can detect learner's perspective from such figure. Okay, here is the visualization result. In this figure, there are 6 sub-goals. And the blue plot, blue and red plot, means which key point has been operated. Operated is dragged. And the estimated internal state is shown by the color of the background. You can notice that state A, represented by background color blue, represented by blue, appears when the learner is performing consistent operations. Yes. And on the other hand, state B and C, represented by green and orange, appears when the learner is performing string operation. So you can see here, his string. Now let's summarize the results. As an interpretation of internal state, when the learner has perspective, internal state appears A. When the learner has no perspective, internal state appears B. And state C appears as their transient state. Therefore, the system can alert when state B or state C is detected. However, too long state A can mean confusion. It can be said that such person had a wrong perspective. For example, subject B, top of figure. He is performing consistent, but he can't finish. He takes I'm sorry. He takes too long. Yeah.
Hiroki, kindly conclude your work.
Pardon me.
Yeah, kindly conclude your work.
Sorry, bad connection. Should I continue? Continue to
Yeah,
talk.
continue.
Okay, sorry. So in this feature, in the future, we need to find a threshold to alert. We think quartiles or machine learning will be possible. And we conducted verification of validity. If the estimated internal state can explain the understanding, it can be said proposed method is a useful indicator. In this presentation, I skipped the detailed explanation here, but please assume that the output of the hidden Markov model is used as the explanatory variable. This. And the label given by the actual teachers are the objective variable. And we use the random forest classifier as machine learning. Here the result. Accuracy shows 0.89. Also, F1 score shows 0.88. The output of the hidden Markov model provides a good estimate of the instructor's thoughts. Here's the summary. This method trained the hidden Markov model using the operation logs of the code puzzle. The estimated internal state could be interrupted as the existence of the perspective. The internal state was able to explain the understanding by random forest classifier. So as the system, the estimated perspective can be used for real-time notification and feedback to runners. Also, it is easy to identify who needs help from the classification probability. In the future, we will verify the trigger timing of the notification. And we should collect more data to compare with other compilation error-based studies. Thank you for listening.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not good at English, so if you have any question, please speak clearly. Thank you.
Thank you. You have done a great job. Good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Deepika.
Thank you for your presentation. So we have come to the end. Thank you so much. I sincerely thank my authors for their excellent presentation in this session and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. I also thank my session chair, Om Prakash Rishi, for chairing the session, sir. Appreciated for you on behalf of the ICICT and Global Knowledge Research Foundation. Thank you so much. I would request all the participants to on the camera for a quick snapshot. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe. Bye.